Welcome back to our second episode of Calls and Strikes. We got a packed show today. We're going to try to get you out of here in 10 minutes, but we want to talk baseball rules. We always want to talk. We got a baseball player in the house. We want to talk rules.
Let's go.
Rule changes, pitch clocks. We want to talk Andrew Luck. And this was one of the coolest things that I read this week. You know, no one really talked about why he retired. I mean, he retired at the end of preseason 3-4 years ago. And so he just kind of opened up with ESPN, huge long form article, super interesting. And as a financial planner and advisor, you know, it's a different way to talk about retirement because he's 30 years old when he made the decision. 100%. But a lot of the things are, you know, the same. You know, he's thinking about health. You know, he's thinking about, do I have enough to retire? I mean, he was on the precipice of signing a huge contract. So
big time.
Big money. We want to talk about big money.
Stupid
Bowl
money.
Games, CFP, National Championship, put you on the spot. 15-second pitch clock. You're going to tell me who's going to win it all. Cole Beasley is in the news. He's my favorite rapper. So
we were listening to him a little bit.
He catches some balls too. Yeah, man.
Still got the lettuce.
And then Mike Leach, man. R.I.P. Cover him. So let's hit the new baseball rules. You know?
All right, let's do it, man. So being implemented right in this upcoming year. We got the pitch timer, the pitch clock, right? Now, I don't necessarily know the exact second, right, that it's going to be in between, right? I'm sure it's going to be expedited, right? 20 to 25 or something like that?
15. No one's on. 15 seconds. You better stand and deliver.
That's quick, dude.
If you have a runner on, I think you get 20. So that's really quick.
A little chess game a little bit with the man on. So, and they're going to limit pickoffs, right? Like they're going to limit the amount that you can come over and pick off. We were talking about it yesterday. What does that mean for, you know, a dude that would have been in my position, right?
Yeah.
If I'm in the prime of my career, knocking on the door, right? A little cup of coffee up, you know, here and there. What does that do for a dude in my spot?
Yeah.
Right?
And so like we're from Cleveland, and so it completely changes how you approach the game. I mean, like we have a bunch of guys that can scamper all over the bases. So does it improve your value? You know, so are there players in the shift too? Is one of the big rules. Yeah. You know, we're getting rid of the shift. So
can't hurt, man. So that shift, right, just opens up more holes, right?
Right.
If you're prone to rolling over, like
that's how
like
you
me,
picked on some of the power guys too, right? Like the pull hitters. Like
I would make love with the second baseman rolling over consistently, right? You limit the shift, things open up, right? Holes open up.
Right. And so are there players that like are going to reap financial? I mean, like, do you think GMs are thinking about this? Like, oh, that guy was a little soft for the last decade, but all of a sudden, like some of these players that can bang look a little bit better.
So I don't know, if there's monetary figures that go into it, right? I just know that with the amount of data that Major League Baseball had when I was playing, I'm sure that was looked at.
Right.
That was taken into consideration at some point because there's just stupid money.
It's analytics. Everything's analytics driven. So it's
everything.
Like, you know, new way to think about players, I suppose. So
everything that you do on the baseball field, right? Everything I did on the baseball field was measured, was like set up and compared next to somebody else in my position, right? Another center fielder, another pinch runner, another defensive specialist. Like those metrics were put up against other people to see where I, stood.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And bigger bases, right? Bigger bases are going to be, that helps the offensive player, the runner, right? Bang, bang plays.
Yep.
That's a bigger base. I mean, that might be a couple centimeters quicker that you get to the base, which I would have loved.
Yeah. You know what I
loved?
The robot ump, man. Like the
robot
umps, dude. They're terrible in the MLB.
So they're not going to have it. I guess they're not going to have that implemented this upcoming year, but they were messing around with it in the minor leagues.
Yeah, well, there is some pretty interesting clips, like where dudes were clearly, they thought they were punched out, and the robot ump's like, no, come on back, man.
Dude, if that calibration is off just like a fraction, I mean, that changes literally that can change the outcome of the game, right? If that robo ump, the strike zone is just maybe not calibrated perfectly the way home plate.
That's the Astros. They're going to win the 2027 World Series, and they're going to be like, oh, hey, they bumped it.
Crazy.
They bumped it.
Crazy. So, I mean, the game of baseball is changing, right? They're trying to make it a little bit more sexy to the fan.
Sexy. I mean,
speed it up. They want to speed the game up, right?
We all got the attention span of goldfish and
that's right.
Cats, so, we got to get that done in an hour and a half.
That's right.
So the big news, like we addressed, was switching sports here. We haven't put you on the spot, like outside of baseball here, so I'm going to see how you handle this. But you read the Andrew Luck article.
I did. I read the SI one. I did not read the ESPN one because I didn't have access. You gotta pay for it. You gotta pay for the article, and I got a lot going on. I can't afford that right now.
It's not that. Well, Disney stock. It's down. They got to come. You got to come pay for something. They hopefully they'll pay a dividend sometime in the next century. So they need that $9 or whatever it is. But it was interesting to me because so for those that are listening that don't really know Andrew Luck, I mean, about 3 years ago, he was Peyton Manning's replacement in Indianapolis. And, he had some nagging injury. I mean, it is a laundry list. But so really it was a torn labrum that gave him problems. But, he had a lacerated kidney one time, playing through it.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he had all sorts of issues. And so he made the decision really in the last preseason game, kind of, took a lot of people by surprise, probably teammates too, to kind of hang it up before week 1 of the season. So Jacoby Brissett, our Cleveland Browns backup quarterback, was thrust into the starting role, but a lot of people were taken aback by it, and so the ESPN article walked us through his thought process, and it came down to do I have enough to retire? And he did. I mean, he signed $100 million. He made $100 million in the first 8 years, but
walked away from a boatload more, right?
Yeah, and so there's probably more there to Tom Brady and Gisele's divorce, but that was a main consideration: my family, my health, and do I have enough to retire? And so when you have $100 million, when you made $100 million over 10 years, generally finances aren't a huge concern, but the health was, and he could have made another 200. I mean, he was an elite quarterback, Pro Bowl quarterback. So I mean, he could have re-upped for $200 million. But
what's important to the guy? You know what I mean? Different strokes for different folks is what TZ says, right? Yeah. I love that. Obviously, money wasn't everything to him, or else he'd still be there. Yeah, right?
3-year-old girl, and he's got one on the way, and he said hey, I don't know if I would have been angry dealing with my kids. I don't know if I would have had the kids. I don't know if I would have had the time. So it's
the stress.
I mean, you can speak to that as well as anyone.
Yeah. I mean, look, obviously his Andrew Luck's situation was a little different than mine, but I grew a little bit towards the end of my career. What was important to me, right? My wife moved in with me and chased my dream with me. Right. As I was in the minor leagues, broke as shit, right? I'm just grinding, trying to get there. My wife just bet it all, right? So what was important to me, I'm just try to spend as much time with my wife, right? Yeah. Maybe, his kids, right? His health is paramount to him, right? That's what's important to him. So it's pretty cool that he came out and talked about it. I'm not sure, what kind of pushback he got, what kind of, what the reception was.
Yeah.
To open up and kind of show in what's going on off the field for a dude of that caliber is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was an interesting article.
Yeah, could relate a little bit to it. Obviously, our situations were different. I'm sure there are a whole bunch of people that are playing professional sports right now that could relate even more.
Yeah, and it's hard, so it's hard. I mean, as a 30-year-old, you don't expect to say this is it, and so that thought process, he kind of fleshed it out a little bit. And again, it's not too dissimilar what the average, the 60-year-old that we're talking to, financial planning and stuff, that they think through. But, it was just such gratuitous amounts. I mean, you're walking away from hundreds of millions of additional dollars.
Insane, man.
But you're also, if you keep playing, the lacerated kidney had to be an eye-opener, hey.
Which is insane. Guys playing with a lacerated kidney.
Yeah.
That's an internal organ just not doing it.
Yeah. So on the other end of the spectrum, we had, like I said, my favorite rapper, top 5. I don't want to get, too far ahead, but Cole Beasley, the Bills, they were the team du jour at the beginning of the year. And the AFC East is tough. No one expected the Jets to be this good. The Dolphins are phenomenal. So, and the Patriots, they're pretty solid too. So the Bills kind of in the mix with everyone else, and they've been struggling a little bit. Josh Allen kind of came down to earth. Maybe people probably circled the Bills on the schedule this year, so not blindsiding anyone anymore.
Sense.
But they can't catch the ball, so they went to your boy Beaslly.
So I was actually woke up early this morning, got a little bogus workout in. I call it a workout. I just try to move around, right?
Yeah. That's my workout. Just get off the couch.
That's right. Yeah, I saw up on the TV screen. Cole Beasley is coming back.
Yep.
Coming back to be a veteran presence, right? To a wide receiver core that I guess leads NFL in drop passes.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can come in here and just teach these boys how to catch. That'd be nice.
Yeah. And then, we actually had two, since we spoke last time, there were two high-profile deaths in the sporting world. So Mike Leach is one of my favorite. If I could be college football coach by anyone, it's that dude. He always had a great interview. Super charismatic and pretty good at what he did too. He took some Washington State, Mississippi State, made him, Mississippi State was off and on. They had Prescott and stuff, but
yeah, Texas Tech too.
Success everywhere he went. Yeah, Texas Tech, and so
wasn't afraid to give his opinion, man. Just outspoken, no BS.
Yeah.
Thinking back a little bit to, I guess it was a double or triple overtime win earlier this year against Auburn. Yeah. Pretty sure it was Auburn. Right? Yeah, against Auburn. I don't really I don't remember what the exact story was, but something about the wide receiver core dropping passes, which I guess is a common theme. Maybe right now we're touching on the Beasley thing. Came back to the sideline, kind of folded up all the chairs, threw them away.
Yeah.
And, got some press, right? Negative or positive, however you want to call it. Press is press. Made some comments about being lackadaisical and wanted to be in the shade with their fat girlfriends or something like that. Literally is what I read. So it's crazy. Rest in peace. That's I was reading that he was at practice on Saturday before this health issue on Sunday. So they still have a bowl game.
Yeah, they're going to play. They said, hey, that's what he would want, and I think they pegged him correctly. That's probably what he would want. So they're going to go out January 2nd and play Illinois. So.
Heads up, Illinois.
Yeah,
these boys might be fired up.
Yeah. And then the other one was the Grant Wahl, the Sports Illustrated. He was really the soccer guy, the soccer journalist for the last 2 decades.
Really?
Died, in the excitement of the Argentina-Netherlands game.
Stinks.
Yeah, massive corner.
Rest in peace, man. That sucks.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your day. We'll look forward to the next one, Calls and Strikes. What do we got on the agenda? We got like a Christmas spectacular or anything?
Ooh, that could be a possibility, man. Yeah, we'll get festive. Get festive up in here.
And I think I said, so who's going to win the national championship?
Georgia.
Georgia.
Easy.
Going out on a limb there. Who are they going to play? Michigan, TCU. So it's like TCU. I like the feel of that team, but
that'd be nice.
Yeah, Ohio State just ran into a buzzsaw with Michigan. So
I just want to see a good game, dude.
Yeah.
I just want it to be close. I want it to be competitive. I don't want it to be a blowout.
Yeah,
it'd break my heart if it's a blowout. Right? I'll turn that off.
Maybe they'll find some like Boise State magic, but Michigan's looking better and better each year. I like the last 2 decades. Where they were second fiddle, but. Yeah, we'll look forward to that, and we'll catch up with you guys next time.
Yeah.